Namaste. My name is Anurag, and this is my wife, Carolina. I want to tell you this. Dhruv Rathi's radicalized supporters have targeted us in Europe. We have faced two attacks, one in France and the other one in Germany. I hope and expect that the government of India will do something to protect us from this. We have already visited 2 police stations in Europe.
And after a lot of discussion and careful thinking, we have decided to make this public. Yes, I want the YouTube community to see the terror that we faced and how it happened.
So guys, let me make this clear. We have never felt more threatened and unsafe. Carolina and I were in Germany's capital, Berlin. We went to Germany because we had a proposed meeting with Mr. Shah, whose daughter has been taken away from him. Many of you may have heard of that case, and even that the government of India is involved in that case. So, Carolina wanted to meet Mr. Shah to understand his situation. And it was not just Carolina and I. Bevin and Milan were with us too. So, Mr. Shah was very kind and welcoming, and even though we wanted to stay in a hotel that night, he generously offered to let us spend the night in his apartment. So the next morning, we left his apartment and went to grab something to eat in Berlin. And by the way, that's the area where we were. So after spending some time in that area, we drove to another part of the city to buy some desserts. While walking in that area, I bumped into a man of Indian descent who turned out to be our subscriber. उनको आराम मिल जाए। ओह नमस्ते।
नमस्ते और सब ठीक
मैं ठीक हूँ भाई, व्लॉग ही बना रहा था। व्लॉग ही बना रहा था मैं। अच्छा लगा
बहुत
मिलकर आपसे।
खुशी यार देख कर मैं आपके बहुत मैं सब्सक्राइबर भी हूँ आपका। मैं आपका वीडियो देखता रहता हूँ, मैंने भाई साहब को पहचान लिया तो मैंने कहा आज यही आए, हमारे नसीब में थे मिलना।
He was very friendly, very kind, and we spent several minutes chatting with each other. He told us that he likes Carolina's videos very much. And from there, we drove to the Brandenburg Gate area. There, Carolina wanted to film something related to some project she is working on. Several minutes later, the trouble began. So, Bevin and I were waiting for Carolina in the car. And Carolina was with Milan. As a mother, her immediate reaction was to protect Milan, and that's why, instead of confronting those people, she decided to get out of that place as fast as she could. Here I want to remind viewers that several days ago in Belgium, after visiting the European Parliament, Carolina released the 2023 International List of Shame. And Dhruv Rathi was on that list. Because Carolina exposed Dhruv Rathi's fake content by fact-checking his video, his radicalized supporters are now targeting or attacking our family. And this is what we experienced in France, specifically in Paris. I mean, just take a look at this. By the way, that's where we were. And as you can see, it's not too far from the Eiffel Tower. Later on, while I was taking the luggage from the car, these are the words I heard. I mean, I don't want to say those words. You can read them here. I wanted to confront them, but they started walking away. After some time, this is what was done to our car. And listen carefully. All the expensive and valuable items were still inside. None of them were stolen. Only one thing was taken: our data. The data was stored in the built-in storage of a mic, and they took the mic. Dhruv Rathi, I want to ask you this. Who stole our data? Who sent those people? We called the police, and there was a big language barrier. Eventually, we went to the police station to file the complaint. And in the next video, I will properly explain how police in Europe are pursuing our case. Dhruv Rathi, I want to say this to you. My wife, Carolina, exposed your fake content by fact-checking your video to protect viewers from your lies. Does she deserve this? Do we deserve this? Dhruv Rathi, why? Talk to me directly. A man-to-man talk. I'm ready for that. ये देखो, अब मैं गाड़ी को छूना भी नहीं चाहता क्योंकि शायद पुलिस ही आकर चेक करेगी क्या है क्या नहीं है. Dhruv Rathi, you're bringing shame to our nation. This just shows how hollow your so-called principles are and how dangerous it can be to fact-check your videos. And will the Indian YouTube community watch this silently? Many Indians refer to Carolina as sister, didi, or akka, right? So will you watch your sister and her family suffer silently? Will you not come forward to raise your voice? And will the Indian media outlets stay silent? Will the international media outlets like the BBC and Deutsche Welle remain silent? A citizen of the European Union, a woman, is attacked by radicalized supporters of an Indian-born propagandist who has published fake content. And I want to make this clear. These are serious crimes. Stalking us, stealing our data, attacking our car, attacking my family. Also, here I would like to thank Mr. Shah for his willingness to help us. Of course, I've told him about the incident. He is already busy with his daughter's case, and that is why I do not want to bother him. We will handle this situation ourselves. And since the situation is very serious, I have decided to share this in Hindi as well. I've just created a Hindi channel on YouTube, and soon I'll post a video regarding this. I want to make a request of Indian authorities. Please do not take this threat lightly. Dhruv Rathi's blind followers and his radicalized supporters seem more than capable of hurting or terrorizing people in India and outside India. If ignored or overlooked, Dhruv Rathi's radicalized supporters may eventually hurt India. We are already witnessing what India is facing in the Western countries, right? Dhruv Rathi, listen carefully. We are not as rich and powerful as you. You know why? Because we chose to support the truth and we chose not to collaborate with India's enemies. You may think that we are weak, but let me tell you this. We have the power of the truth and we believe in Satyamev Jayate. Maybe the money that I have in my savings is not enough to fight all this, but we have well-wishers who I hope will support us in our fight against these threats. Dhruv Rathi, we will not surrender to these threats. Dhruv Rathi, you cannot silence us.